I don't know about you, but I get a little twitchy when I see unread messages in my inbox. In fact, I often get an overwhelming compulsion to stop everything and check it out immediately. After all, my prospects might be ready to close the deal, or they might have an important question that I need to answer right away. Sound familiar? The truth is, most of us do suffer from email addiction. But in reality, what we're really suffering from is dopamine addiction. I know, I sound pretty smart with all this brain research I've been quoting this past year. But since it's highly unlikely that you haven't been reading the latest neuroscience studies, let me clarify what I mean. Dopamine is a brain hormone that starts us seeking, like looking out there for something, and it keeps us going and seeking. If we're anticipating something and we're not sure when it's coming, our dopamine system is immediately triggered. That's why we're compelled to check emails if we're waiting to hear back from our prospects. Here's another thing you need to know about your dopamine system. It gets activated when it gets a cue, such as a notification or a sound. Like Pavlov's dogs, we start salivating. We can't wait a second longer for whatever it is we're lusting after. We need to interrupt what we're doing and find out what just happened. The worst thing is when dopamine takes control of our brains, our productivity tanks. So does our mental sharpness. In one study, Dr. Glenn Wilson, a psychiatrist at London University, found that constantly checking emails and text messages reduces women's IQ by 5%. But for guys, it was even worse. They lost 15 IQ points. You know, that's a whole lot worse than the 4-point drop in IQ that you get from smoking pot. So if you want to be a smarter salesperson and get more done in less time, then you have to kick the email, or should I say, dopamine addiction. Here are several things that I've done to control mine. Number one, I batch my email checking. I set a couple times during the day to look at it and to respond to emails. Believe me, you won't ever lose a deal because it took you an hour to respond. And the other thing I do is I turn off all notifications on both my computer and my cell phone. The bings, the music, the numbers, all of it. This has been a real godsend for me. I don't keep checking things anymore. Instead, I keep my focus on the work that needs to get done. Fortunately, the urges do lessen, but it's an ongoing battle that we have to fight one day at a time. So I encourage you to take a stand. Refuse to let dopamine rule your life. It really does make a difference.